My name is Ian, and facing my fears has been a skill I've developed throughout my time at the college school. At TCS, I have gone on many field trips that require me to face my fears. This school has pushed me to try new things that I have been scared to try before. Something my classmates and many of my teachers probably know is my fear of bugs. I've been afraid of bugs for as long as I can remember. On 5th grade campout, after a long day of exploring Mammoth Cave, I went to my tarp to go to bed. I had laid down and started to fall asleep when I heard a noise on my tarp. I didn't think much of it, but when I heard it again and again, I got up and turned on my light. That's when I saw a big, black, scary beetle. It sounds funny now, but at the time, I was terrified. I tried brushing it away, but it kept crawling back. I decided to hide in the bottom of my sleeping bag and waited out until the morning. But when I woke up next, it wasn't morning. All I remember is Gerald waking me up in the middle of the night and carrying me onto the bus in the rain. What I didn't know was that while I was in the bottom of my sleeping bag taking shelter from the beetle, the rest of my class had gotten onto the bus to take shelter from the storm. No one saw me to wake me up because I was hiding in the bottom of my sleeping bag. Because I didn't face my fears. This is a story I will remember forever. The next year, on 6th grade wilderness, everything was going great. I was having a great trip, and we had just hiked to Panther's Den. This is where we would have solo night. Johnny C. started walking us to our solo night spots, where we would spend the night alone under a huge rock overhang. When he showed me my spot, I realized that I had the farthest spot from the teachers. I was a little nervous, but I could handle it. I set up my sleeping bag, and as I laid down, I saw a big spider sitting on the rock above my head. The beetle must have told it where to find me. Again, I was terrified. I tried not thinking about it and turned to my side, but that didn't help much. All I saw were a bunch of crickets hopping around a rock right next to my head. I took a deep breath and thought back to 5th grade caving trip. The 5th grade caving trip taught me many lessons, but one of the biggest ones was to face my fears. So on wilderness solo night, I closed my eyes and chose not to crawl into the bottom of my sleeping bag and hide, but to instead face my fears. When I woke up the next morning, everything was fine. There wasn't a spider on my head or crickets in my sleeping bag. I finished wilderness having an even better trip than before, knowing that I had faced my fears. As I go into high school, I know that I will have many different fears, from beetles to spiders to exams and eventually to college. But over the past 11 years I've gone to the college school, one of the many lessons I've learned is to face these fears. Thank you.